Chicagoland's public transit is headed for the worst case scenario. What is the worst case scenario, you may ask? Well, the RTA just announced that it is about to reach a fiscal cliff due to a $770 million budget deficit. During the COVID-19 pandemic, ridership was at an all-time low, so they operated at a loss during much of the pandemic. There has been federal relief money to help the transit agencies deal with the massive losses created by the pandemic, but that money is set to run out in 2026. If the funding gap is not addressed by the end of the current legislative session, the RTA will have to cut service by a whopping 40%. If extra funding is unable to be secured, the results will be catastrophic. The CTA will have to partially or fully suspend 4 out of the 8 L train lines, and 79 bus routes will be cut. That's over half of all bus routes the CTA currently operates. Metra will have to reduce frequency of train service, but the most drastic cuts will be seen on the North Central service and Southwest service lines. Both lines will be reduced to just 3 round trips per day. This would be a 70% reduction for the North Central service, which currently has 7 round trips per day on weekdays, and an 80% reduction for the Southwest service, which currently has 15 round trips per day on weekdays. The Metra Electric Blue Island branch could be axed entirely as well. In addition, Pace would have to cut weekend service for all of their bus routes. If this doomsday scenario were to become reality, it could easily spell destruction for Chicagoland's economy. Over 3,000 jobs would be lost, and 1 in 5 Chicagoans would lose access to public transit. This means that a lot of people will no longer be able to travel to and from work or school, and a lot of businesses will suffer. This could also mean that more employers start to require a driver's license for employment, making it harder for people who don't drive to get and maintain jobs. Plus, traffic on the roads will increase, meaning the service cuts will affect people who don't use public transportation at all. These cuts will affect everyone, not just people who regularly commute on trains and buses. So, what can you do? You can help by contacting your state senator and state representative. Phone calls are the most effective, but emails will work too. I will provide a link in the description of this video for you to find the elected officials representing your district and their contact information. Please ask them to support measures that would fund Chicagoland's public transit agencies, and remind them that these service cuts would be devastating for lots of people. It will make it a lot harder to commute anywhere, even for those who drive and don't use public transit. It would destroy the local economy, and it would cost thousands of people their jobs. These cuts would make ridership drop drastically, which could pave the way for even more cuts in the future. So please, contact your elected officials and spread the word to encourage others to do so as well. We need your help to make sure Chicagoland's transit agencies get the funding they desperately need and deserve.